welcome to Startup Grind in California. Sitting here with you, I have thought about this moment for such a long time, and I'm so excited that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Dirk. And hello, everyone. I'm very happy, and it's incredible honor for me that I'm today here. I'm speaking in front of wonderful people and at amazing global conference, a startup grind conference. It's very different because in Afghanistan, I was first time in a startup grind, but it's very different. In Afghanistan, we had only one microphone and I spoke, but here it takes 1 hour to getting ready.
Yeah, so you just pass the microphone back and forth, only one microphone.
Only, but here, very professional work.
Thank you, they will appreciate that. I would love for you to tell this group about your business. Tell them about who you are, where you're from, and the business that you and your family were running.
My name is Zahra Nazari, and I'm from Afghanistan. And my business is handicraft business. And around 9 years ago, after first Taliban war, I born in another country, and after first Taliban war, we went to Afghanistan, and I started my business in Afghanistan. Bamian Afghanistan situation after war was very, very terrible, and everything and everywhere were broken, and they had very, very wrong and very bad belief that the people, Afghanistan people, they believe women are not allowed to work in society, especially in market, and it was terrible. For example, women, even they couldn't to go bazaar for shopping, necessary thing for them. One day, me and my uncle, we went to Afghanistan market to buy something for myself, and we couldn't find anything for women, and I couldn't see any women in market. And my uncle told me, it's your first time and your last time that you are going to market, because it's a shame for you that a lady going to market. And I told to my uncle, oh my God, it's a big opportunity for me. And I can open a shop for women to sell clothes, shoes, and everything for women. And I opened a shop in Bamian market. Bamian is my province name, and it was a very big opportunity and very good opportunity, and also a very big risk, because a good opportunity because we didn't have any competitor, and risk because Afghanistan had a very bad belief and women couldn't go market. And I started my my business.
I think we have a picture, maybe even of you. Go ahead, keep talking. Sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead.
And I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it's my shop. There are my workers. They came from a village, and they had very strict hijab. And yeah.
I mean, it was amazing what you were doing, because, as you said, like you had this shop, you had this idea of how can you help women to make money for their families, and how can they participate, and you were selling, basically reselling the goods and the things that they were creating in this market.
Yes.
Right?
For first time, I met a group of women. They were widow. They had orphan children, and their economic situation was terrible. And they told me they want to work, but they were uneducated and they couldn't work in anywhere. And I told them, what talent do you have? And they told me, we can make handicraft, and we started handicraft. And I told them it's another big opportunity, that because handicraft is very popular in Afghanistan, and people using so much handicraft. And handicraft, Afghanistan handicraft, like carpet and gleam rug, they are very popular in world also. Because it wasn't easy. We had so much problems, and especially men and people in Afghanistan, all of them tried to stop me. For example, it was one morning, it was around 8 a.m. I want to open my shop, and I saw an old bicycle in front of my shop. And when I want to open my shop, I heard a very huge explosion. And after that, I fainted and I couldn't understand what happened. And the next day, I wake up and doctor told me in front of your shop there was an explosion and all your shop broken. And after 10 days, when I become healthy, I went back to my shop and I saw the other businessmen, especially men. They were very happy and all of them laughed to me and they mocked me and told me, "Do you want a atom bomb to stop you?"
Nothing could stop you.
Nothing can stop us because Afghan women, the situation in USA, in Europe is very different than Afghanistan. And in Afghanistan, women trying so hard to being alive and trying so hard to working in society, and it's very, very different. And I'm so sorry because I can't speak English very well because I never went to English class and I learned English by myself with my phone dictionary.
Your English is amazing, I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
When the war started last year, tell kind of, I know I wish we could have you honestly here for you. Your story needs to be in a book that everyone can read, but just tell us quickly what happened when the war started to you and what did you do next?
It was 2021 was the terrible year for Afghanistan when U.S. government, Taliban, and Afghanistan government start peace talk. All Afghanistan people were very nervous about what's our future because when peace talk started in Qatar, all Taliban start very seriously attack to Afghanistan and different provinces in Afghanistan, especially my province, Bamian province. And it was 2 months before Afghanistan fallen under Taliban. My province situation was terrible and government sent all women, children and men to mountains for being safe, and the center of Bamian was completely free without any people. And I remember very well that everyone was crying. I sent my mother and my sister to mountains for being safe, and only me and another 15 women, we were in center of Bamian and we moved to fight border for being safe, for helping soldiers, for making food, water, blender, clothes. And I remember it was a very, very terrible moment, and we were working very hard all night and all days. And I remember people were bringing
the soldiers who were killed or injured, they were bringing them back.
Yes, soldiers' died body every night. I remember one night that I saw body of 2 brothers. They were my neighbor brother, and I become very, very, very sad. And finally, Afghanistan and my province fallen Taliban. Before my province fallen Taliban, 2 Bamian districts fallen under Taliban, and Taliban captive so much women and girls and sold them in Pakistan and other countries. It wasn't Afghanistan war wasn't only with Taliban. Several countries helped Taliban for their benefits.
Yes.
And it was a very, very terrible situation. And finally, our province fallen, and we were only women that we were close to border, and governor was very nervous about me and other women, because he said if Taliban attack and we couldn't fight against Taliban, maybe they captive you too. And and one commander told me, if we couldn't fight against Taliban, I will send a military to kill you before Taliban captive you, because he told me I don't want any women
captured by them, taken by them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know they threatened you as well because of this business that you were running. And so you and your mom and your sister, you made your way to Kabul, which is I think maybe 4 or 5 hours. Is that right? In a car. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not close. So you made your way to Kabul.
Yeah, it was around midnight that soldiers came and told me Bamian also fallen and you must run away from Bamian to Kabul. And he brought me burqa. Burqa is this strict hijab that the lady has.
Yes.
And we wore burqa and we ran from Bamian to Kabul with a car. And when we arrived to Kabul, in front of Kabul was a very, very tribal war between Taliban and military. And I told to military, why you are not fighting against Taliban? He told me President Ashraf Ghani, he ran away from Afghanistan and all ministers ran away from Afghanistan, and we don't have anyone back us to help us. If we fighting against Taliban so much, Taliban will kill all Kabul people. It was very terrible. I remember I called to I asked from all my friends to help me because we were in trouble. And we went to Kabul. After 2 days, I heard that Taliban searched all our home, and my name and another women names were in a list, and they were searching for me and asked from all our neighbors and other people, where is Zahra? And I couldn't sleep all night and all days, and I asked from my friends, especially my friends, Mr. Andy Bass. He's a superhero for us. I asked him for helping us, and I sent all my documents for him.
And just Andy was in the U.S. military in Afghanistan. He met you at your shop, I believe, and met you then when you were working and selling goods. And then he had returned home and was in the United States. But you had his contact information, you stayed in touch with him.
Yes.
Yes.
Andy, in 2019, he came to Afghanistan for a marathon competition. He traveled to so much countries, and he came to Afghanistan, and we became friends in Afghanistan. And I asked him for help me, and I asked from Matt Roper for help me. Matt Roper is a British journalist, and then he called to you, and you also helped me, you, Miss Neda Morer, and I have really special thanks from you that you did so much thing for us, especially in 10 nights that I were in Afghanistan. In airport, I tried so hard to enter the airport. You helped me so much. You were every moment with us, and you asked us every minute, and I have a special thanks from you and Miss Neda. Also my superhero friend, Mr. Andy Bass. Where are you, my
Andy's
friend?
here, and where are you, Andy? Wave your hand a little bit so we can see he's in the center. Has been an unbelievable help to Zahra and her mom and her sister. You get out of the caves, you get to Kabul, you decide, we've got to get out because I'm going to die. And you go wait at the airport for many days, and we all read about it, but none of us really understood how dangerous and horrific and scary it was. And then you went back to the hotel because they told you to leave. And then it was amazing talking to you because there was, you have this entrepreneurial drive in you, and you took that and you turned it into like this drive to save your mom and your sister and you. And you said, we're going back, we're going to leave, we're going to get out of here. And you went back to the airport, and I believe you waited there for days. Is that right? The second time you were there overnight waiting, and then we've seen the pictures of the sewage canal that separated the wall to get through with the Americans, and then everyone trying to get through. And you were there, right? You were waiting there in the sewage trying to get out. Is that, am I telling it right? What am I missing?
Yes, it's 8 months ago. It was 8 months ago, but I remember every moment. For me, it's like last week. It was very, very terrible situation. We were around 10 nights in front of Kabul airport for excuse me. Thank you. It was around 10 nights. We were in front of Kabul airport, and Taliban was firing so much to people, to American soldiers, and with rocket, with fire, and American soldiers were firing to Taliban for save people from Taliban, and people trying so hard to being safe. Thank you for being safe, and it was terrible. We tried so hard 10 nights for enter the airport for being safe, because I didn't have any way. My house in Bamian, it was under Taliban, and Taliban was searching every night, and I didn't have any way to being safe. In Kabul, we were one night in one hotel and one night to another hotel. And after 10 nights, finally I could arrive to US soldiers, and I show him my document, my visa, my passport, and he tried us, and I entered to airport, and we had a very long process, and more than 100 times they checked our document, and finally we arrived to airplane. When we sit,
I think we have a picture of that as well when you
it
you
was
arrived to the airplane.
around 500 people in one military airplane. We were, and we had 22 hours flight from Kabul to Germany. And when I remember, I heard so much noisy from women and children from other side of wall. When we arrived to airplane, suddenly I heard a very huge explosion. And after that, everywhere was silent. I couldn't hear any sound noisy from women, children. And I'm very thankful, and I'm very sad about US soldiers that died in front of Kabul, and all Afghan people that all of them tried to be safe from Taliban.
Yeah, I mean, you were on one of the last airplanes, and you can see it here in this photo. You were on one of the last American planes that left Kabul, and when the bomb went off at the airport, basically everything pulled out, everything stopped, and America, finally withdrew at that point. I want to just say one thing about you, and then I'd like to just spend the final piece of this talk just talking about how we can help you. But what I would just want to say about you is you are one of the most, I have interviewed 100 of the best entrepreneurs and investors in Silicon Valley in the last 15 years. You are by far one of the most, if not the most impressive entrepreneur I've ever met. I find you to be incredible. And what you did was unbelievable. And even you heard her graciously saying so much about me, or Netta Morar on my team, or Andy, or Matt, who wrote this story about you. That's when I first heard, we knew you as a speaker, but you did this. You know, we didn't do anything compared to what you did. You took that spirit that you had in you, and you said, I'm going to get my family out of this situation, and I'm going to do it. And I am so inspired by that. And when I go through hard times in my startup, sometimes I think about you and what you did, and I think, this is nothing. You know, this is nothing compared to what Zahra had to deal with and what you accomplished. And I hope this is the beginning of the world hearing your story. You know, I know people have written about you and things, but you're writing a book. You have 180 pages, I think. We need help. That's something I think we can try to help you with. If anyone thinks they can help Zahra with her book and telling this story, you know, reach out to me at derek@startupgrind.com, or find me here, and we'll get you connected. But how else can we help you? What can our community do to support you?
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really thankful from U.S. government and people, all U.S. people, that when we came here, so much people were very, very kind with us, especially when we released from camp, and we were very, very stressful, and my mental health was very, very terrible. And we were at Mr. Indibas' house around 3 months. He saved us 2 times, one time from Afghanistan, and one time when I was like a crazy girl. He saved us so much, and I have a special thanks from you, my friend. And I want to continue my business here, and I want to continue my education here, and I want continue my business, my handicraft business here, and I want it will be because I miss my work and my business in Afghanistan so much, and it was a dream for me that I wanted to make my business a huge business and send handicraft all around the world. And I want to start my handicraft business in USA, and I really need to start my business here. It will be a very huge help also for Afghan women.
Zahra, we're so grateful you're here. Can we give a huge standing ovation for Zahra? Her amazing story.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.